Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today I'm actually trying out something different for kind of standard, I guess. I'm it's taken me a while. It looks like flavor of the month can be summed up into two different cards. It can be summed up as I don't actually have a copy. Oh, I do. Can be summed up as Gyruda or can be summed up as Winota. Those are basically the two decks that everyone's complaining about on Facebook. But if you take a look at them a bit more, with a little bit more, how do you say this? If you look at them more critically, you realize that they go off at particular turns. So as long as you're prepared for it on that particular moment, it, you you can counter it. Now, the Winota deck's slightly harder, though. If you see red and white, it's kind of a giveaway at that point, unless you see like a ton of human knights. Gyruda, that one already has a tell because of the fact that one copy is a companion. It's already listed there. It's just a question of what flavor is it. Like, what are the colors that come with it aside from blue and green? So, given that, I decided to try out. I originally had this as a mono blue counter build, so it would have Essence Scatter, Mystical Dispute. Oh, this one's perfect against Gyruda. It's just, and I gave it a first shot. Needed a little bit more help, so I added Disdainful Stroke to because I can't just be countering creatures all the time. Sometimes I run into decks that have non-creatures that are really powerful, like say Nissa, and Disdainful Stroke takes care of it. There's also, and I added white because sometimes the Gyruda deck will go off. You just delayed it long enough. You need the board wipe, so I chose Time Wipe for this one. And given that, 3 copies of Absorb, 3 copies of Teferi Time Raveler. So we have the original package of Spectral Sailor and Brineborn Cutthroat for our slightly early aggro. It's supported by 2 copies of Brazen Borrower because that's all I have. If you have more, it's probably a good fit also. I added 2 copies of Sea Dasher Octopus, only 2 because you kind of don't want to play this early. You want to play this near late when your opponent has pretty much expended everything and you have a clear way of hitting your opponent and drawing cards. Also, we can just use Teferi temporarily. There's also 4 copies of Opt if we really need to. And on our top end, aside from Time Wipe, I realized I had 2 copies of Angel of Grace, which also conveniently has Flash. Nobody really expects, and we can sometimes finish off the game with the right timing. Also, it really helps that if our opponent is not the sacrifice deck, is going for like one big kill, we can survive for 1 turn. So that's pretty much the plan. We also have a copy of Voracious Shark. I'm not sure what the percentage of this should be, but it does give us another counter spell. So all in all, we have 3, 6, 9, 12. We got about 13 counter spells. Not much card draw though, so we have to really be careful of the hands that we keep. So on our sideboard, we got this one completely untested. I've been testing this mostly best of 1. In fact, this you're going to be watching a best of 1 video here. But pretty much 4 Quench on the sideboard. If I run into a deck that, like, say, doesn't bend, I have no targets for Disdainful Stroke or I have no targets for Essence Scatter. Additional Scatter or Dispute if I have to. I guess the additional Dispute could also just be an additional Disdainful Stroke, but this is pretty much for anti-blue. And there are going to be plenty of blue decks between the Teamer Adventure, Gyruda, and whatnot. Grafdigger's Cage because, yeah, those are the flavors of the month. If that falls out of popularity, this one will probably go. Everything else, like the extra Time Wipe, the Dream Trawler, 2 copies of Deputy of Detention, yeah, completely untested. I really could use some advice as to what would be a good fit for that. Otherwise, we're running just 23 lands, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 23 lands. It's a bit of a stretch. But otherwise, we're good to go with this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna join the standard event, and if for some reason things don't pan out, like, is it still, yeah, it's still 3 losses. If it doesn't pan out, we will do a few extra games on ranked. But here we go. I'm gonna be so miffed if I run this and don't exactly run. Well, let's be fair, the Gyruda deck is not a giveaway either. Because there are the usual problems like we may not necessarily have all the counter spells. This one is 2 time wipes and 2 counter spells. This is very sketchy. I kind of want to mulligan this, so I'm gonna do that. And okay, this is better. I'm gonna side out the absorb. I basically can play everything else. So depending what our opponent plays, I either play Opt or Spectral Sailor. Okay, I'm gonna play Spectral Sailor. Okay, let's keep up the Essence Scatter. So I'm gonna be miffed if I see blue-black or blue-green, because well, it could be a triple, but so far it looks okay. Blue-white, Control, Birth of Neletes. Okay, we Brindborn Cutthroat. Get our initial hits for now. This could easily be a Doom Foretold style deck. Or just straight control. The opponent gets a 0-4 wall. We can bounce it. Opponent goes for another Birth of Meletis, so gonna go slightly aggro here. Thankfully, no Mystical Dispute. I could have just walked into that. So we have an aggro path now. What are we looking for? Temple of Enlightenment. Don't really want that. Sure, I could use another land. Okay, Hollow Fountain. And a Mystical Dispute, so perfect. So I'm actually going to pay 2 life. Because if our opponent actually does nothing, I just draw a card. Odds of our opponent doing that very low. At least we can now beat down the wall. Opponent now has 4 mana. That could easily be Shatter the Sky. There's Arcane of Sun's Grace, so we can Essence Scatter that. And we have an Absorb too. Okay. Opponent's gonna give up their wall. Yeah, at this point, life total is so important. What's actually more important is the fact that we have to convince our opponent to keep spending all their mana. Shatter the Sky. We'll dispute that first because our opponent's tapped out. Let's take advantage of that. Okay, 6, 7, 8. Again, no rush to Sea Dasher Octopus. This guy again. And congratulations, I think we might have... Well, our opponent could have an unsum... No, it doesn't. Yep. There we go. Very... As a control deck, you do not want to be put in a position where you're playing everything main turn. So there we go. We got 1 win. Not so bad. Actually, we spent 500 gold. Okay, we just need about... Okay, we need about 4 wins just to break even. We'll see how well we do. Whew, that's not so bad if you don't mind me saying so. Also, for those watching, I need to know how is the volume in the mic. I've kind of dropped my microphone a few times recently. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it just goes dead. Okay, this is really sketchy. I'm gonna mull. Okay, this is somewhat less sketchy. So, given this, I want to bin the octopus. Yeah, I'm gonna bin the octopus. Sure, we kind of need the card draw, but we also need it to stick on a creature of sorts. Opponent plays Alseid, so this is our worst possible... Okay, at least we got Temple of Light in there. One of our worst possible matchups. We want the land. Actually, no. Actually, we'll see. Because I know our opponent's probably going to play turn 1 creature, turn 2. Okay, lots of creatures. But what's our opponent's game plan here? So we definitely playing the blue mana. Okay, so we can leave up double Brineborn if we have to. I am willing to sack one Brineborn just to pare this board down a bit. I just have no idea what our opponent's gonna cast. Is it Linden? Yes, it's Linden. That's it. So this is a life gain deck. It's very aggressive. We need another. I would prefer to have. Did that? Okay, Brazen Borrower's not so bad. I am going to hit. No, we don't really need. I'm gonna need double white eventually if I need to hit those time wipes. So at least we countered this. I probably should have waited for a Heliod though, because right now this is not gonna counter anything. I could technically. Okay, let's say our opponent plays Heliod. Okay, so whenever you gain life, put a counter. This only target creature or enchantment. So okay, I can't exactly use Brazen Borrower in this. I have to force him to tap out on that one mana. Okay. Yeah, I need to start reducing the number of instances he can gain life. So we now have either an Alseid or a healer that's going to be powered up. Okay, got an Alseid. It gets... Okay, so we got the time wipe, but no lands for it. Whenever... Oh yeah, because there are 2 instances of life gain. I'm gonna play Op, see if I can draw into a land. Anyway, it's kind of obvious that I'm having land trouble already. If I manage to draw a land, at least it gets us Mystical Disputes an option. Otherwise, my original plan of just bouncing Alseid, our opponent could just sack it in response. Okay, Spectral Sailor goes to the bottom. There's another Opt. Okay, because I can cast this now. It just gets bounced, but it saves us an attack. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. If our opponent chooses to sacrifice it, it's fine with me also. Most likely, he's just gonna cast it. Because our opponent can get clever with the sacrificing this, I guess. Also, okay, doesn't go clever, so we're probably gonna be in trouble here. Yeah, opponent's been hitting all their land drops. We need to hit 2 more lands. Opponent replays Alseid. Can't attack quite yet. My concern is if our opponent drops a Linden, that means Heliod attacks. Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, his... Ooh. Okay, I'm going to pass the turn. Because at least we have the option for Brineborn plus Opt. Most of our opponent's responses here are not going to be instant speed. He's going to have to play creatures. Also, Mystical Dispute in case. So far, our opponent's been flooding. Okay, Brineborn Cutthroat. I'm trying to remember if there's... Okay, I'm going to pass the blocks. So it gets us counter. Knock on wood gets us a land. Okay, Fabled Passage, perfect. So he gains life, so Heliod's gonna get... It's now gonna be a 6/6. We just need to survive long it. On the bright side is, if our opponent plays a creature, we can play Teferi just to buy us some time. Conclave Tribunal. Interestingly enough, that is also an option. But, okay, we have to think this out carefully. I definitely want to leave up mana for Mystical Dispute. Though at this point, it's possible that... when it's really flooding out. Okay, I'll save the Life's Bounty. Resolve. Now here's the trick. Brazen Borrower. We swing for 3, time wipe. And get the Brazen Borrower back, so it gives us a bounce option. Okay, so we need to unfortunately take 2 damage. Can't. He has no way of blocking. What's he planning to do? Gains protection. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's just take 3. Take 3 and the world's most inefficient time wipe ever. So we can actually do Brazen Borrower into Mystical Dispute, but that's probably not gonna happen. So I'm gonna keep that Absorb on top. No rush onto Teferi because we now have a Voracious Great Shark, and I am resisting the urge to... I'm seriously resisting the urge to sing it in the form of Baby Shark. Trying to think if there's an instant that I should be worried about. Okay, so we get to hit for 6 damage. I can play Teferi. Another Absorb. Okay, we're playing Teferi now. So bounce the Heliod. And just like that, we cleared the board quite... Though it's fair, though to be fair, our opponents, yeah, only had 4 creatures plus Heliod. Another land. Enters tap because there's no way we're gonna be... Because Mystical Dispute, let's be honest, that's going to always cost 3 mana. So now our opponent has to make a decision. If he Conclave Tribunal, he's going for the Conclave Tribunal. I have to. I'll let him cast this at least. So I guess yeah, sure, we'll counter. Now our opponent is left with this plus 1 other card that's presumably a land, because either a land or something that's just not working out. And now we just take the Ferry up again for another few turns. Yeah, this takes quite a while. I might end up singing the Baby Shark song. Not that I really care. And and also I did say those are Spectral Sailor is also a draw spell. Basically, you want to be drawing cards late. Not really that early. Although I really needed to hit that Optum after that mulligan. So yeah, if you wanted to draw cards, you pretty much wanted for after post-mull draws. If our opponent plays a creature, this is... Okay, he might have another spell. Yeah, I don't want to annoy you guys, so I'm not going to... Well, I so want to rub it in that way, but not gonna happen. Plus, just in case,
I've got time.
Swing for the win. Does our opponent have nope, no removal. We got there. Whew. I originally had Pouncing Sharks to go along with the Voracious Great Shark. It was really a miss, and we're not aggro enough. We really are a lot more controlled than aggro. So Pouncing Great Shark, it's really gonna be Voracious Great Shark. And I think 1 copy is just fine. I guess it's a balance between the Angel of Grace and is it Angel? Yeah, between the angel and the great shark, what the numbers are. And once again, auto mull. So far we've been mulling. Okay, this is a much better keep. Much better keep, disdainful stroke notwithstanding. I have to bin one disdainful stroke. We need help early game. Though if our opponent happens to be playing Jeskai Fires, I'm fine with it. Okay, there's the... Okay, there's the Absorb, so we got our help. Turn 2, Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Okay, opponent's gonna take their time, so this might... This could also be Is It. That's the turn. Opponent plays 3 mana. Opponent plays Birth of Meletis. We're not gonna bother with that. Now, unfortunately, our opponent could have Shock, but this build is so... It's not... It doesn't feel like an Is It build. So, Castle Vantress. So if our opponent plays a 4 mana spell, we are gonna cast Disdainful Stroke. And at least we have the Absorb backup and the Great Shark backup if we have to. My concern is if our opponent plays nothing. I'm more concerned with that. Deafening Clarion. Okay, that's an auto absorb. So definitely Fires of Invention of some flavor or another. Okay, definitely need more blue mana. I can swing, but it's kind of pointless, so pass the turn. Yeah, we have options up now. And all of them are enough to help our Brineborn punch through. Opponent plays 5th mana, plays Birth of Meletis again. Okay, so opponent's building up their mana base, so that's great. Yeah, this one's concerned. Okay, we're gonna Spectral Sailor. Does our opponent have a burn spell? This would be so... This could also just be straight Planeswalkers. Okay, Shark for next turn. Sea Dasher, Octopus. Yeah, we'll keep that up top. We need the option to be able to draw cards. Okay, opponent's sacking. Well, it makes sense. The rat effect here is gonna either be Storm Shatter or Shatter the Sky anyway. Opponent hits 6 mana. Dream Trawler. Okay, Bird. Okay, well, it's buying us a lot of time, so I can't complain too much. And heck, we can even draw a card if we need to. Like our opponent hasn't done anything is already very, very interesting. Fae of Wishes for regular cost. I'm probably gonna just Essence Scatter. Yeah, opponent's just getting a block. I'm gonna just Essence Scatter that. Okay. Also remember the Sea Dasher Octopus. Well, it's a virtual +1/+1 for the Spectral Sailor. It does add toughness with its Cutthroat. That's about it. I'm really curious now. Opponents just played 3 Birth of Meletis, no creatures. This could, if it were not for all this white, I would have said this was a Niv Mizzet build. Elspeth Conquers Death. Okay, what can he get back? Fae of Wishes. Okay, well, it messes with the Great Shark, but it doesn't mess with the Disdainful Stroke, so... Yeah, sure, because it's not like it's hitting anything anyway. And now we mutate onto the Spectral Sailor, because I want to start drawing cards. Over. So we now have a Flying Octopus. So we need to hold up quite a bit of mana. Okay, we also got an Absorb, so I'm definitely paying life for this. Also, it's non-creature spells, so if our opponent casts a creature spell, we can just go for the Great Shark. That should catch someone by surprise. Opponent finally has... Okay, so this is clearly a Planeswalker build. Elspeth conquers death. Am I so glad that I'm not... Okay, so he... Yep, 2... Oh, he can hit the Sea Dasher Octopus. That's 3 mana. I'm actually fine with that, sure. Take my... And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna draw. Wait, nope. We'll let that resolve. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna risk drawing a card here because yeah, opponent could have played the fairy. So another Essence Scatter. You have Castle Vantress to start. Oh, I probably should have just. Oh, I think I was out of mana at that time. So costs are back to normal. Opponent rebuys Fae of Wishes. And that just enters the battlefield, so then again our opponent could just start discarding, well, it could discard those 2 cards. There's no Lucky Clover, thankfully. It's really the concern. My concern right now is that we have, if this is a Planeswalker build, we only have 2 counters. I can play the Great Shark just to speed up the clock. Want to place another Elspeth? Sure. Not. Let's speed up the clock. Opponent could have a counter of their own. This is okay. Doesn't have count. Usually a Planeswalker build does not have counters. And at least it also tells us that if our opponent goes for the discard, Deafening Clarion, okay, it means they didn't really have much of anything. It also means I have to counter this. So distinct. I will only be able to counter 1 spell. I could counter the thing he tutors for. It's a non-creature, so you know what? Let that resolve. Let him get the non-creature. We'll just counter that instead. Let's force our opponent to tap out, so to speak. Yeah, we managed to survive all those yeah, having a low profile survives Elspeth Conquers Death. The Octopus not so great, but that's fine. My concern is if our opponent draws something cheap and has another answer in his hand. His or her hand, I have no idea where. Opponent still digging. Opponent digs Tybalt. Gains 1 life. Probably trying to... Yep, there we go. Voracious Shark. Oh, sometimes you just need a 5/4. Also of note, the Angel's also 5/4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Angel's also 5/4. Has the benefit of flying. It just counters something different. It counters our opponent's attack phase. Sort of. Yeah, not so bad. Let's not jinx ourselves. We really have to be careful. In fact, yeah, it's really all those mulligans that we have to... Oh, I could just run a full 24 lands. Maybe cut, say, 1 of the counters. Also, the mix of counters, it's just based on what I have available, so... Yuck. Sure, we got 2 Disdainful Strokes, but I have no idea what our opponent's matchup is. If our opponent is super aggro, we're literally preying on an Absorb and an Angel of Grace. Final. Well, okay, let's do the... I'm gonna keep it, just... Then watch our opponent play Mountain Scorched Bitter or... Well, no, Temple of Malice. But this is also a horrible matchup because most of our opponent's stuff would be converted mana cost 3 or less. Okay, so at least we got the Spectral Sailor. But now we literally have only 2 live cards. Yeah, opponent, Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Okay, I'm gonna have to say Spectral. Yeah. Okay, we got Grindborn Cutthroat as an option. I'm trying to remember if this deck... No, all of their stuff is pretty much 3 mana, see? But we definitely have to counter that. I'm not letting their Priest of the Forgotten Gods go active. And also, just because our opponent's escape cost is this high does not mean we can hit with Disdainful Stroke. So, yeah, worst possible matchup to keep this hand. Okay, at least we got Brazen Borrower, so... But we still need to hit lands. If our opponent discards this... Well, no, if our opponent has discards, generally the form of Agonizing Memories... Agonizing Dreams, Agonizing Memories. That card, so if this hits the graveyard, we lose it. We'll not lose these. Opponent here. So we bought ourselves a little time just by tempoing this out. Might even encourage our opponent to sack the goat so we don't have to... So our opponent will have to play 2... Oh, there's 11. Okay, so far no cat, but we are on a tight clock. Also, just countering the cat doesn't help. It does make an argument for adding the counter spells that exile. Like say, Deny the Divine. I think that one exiles. The only caveat there is that sometimes that 1 mana difference is so huge. Opponent now deciding what to do. We might have to go for broke on aggro, but as soon as our opponent plays Mayhem Devil, we're toast. Okay, at least we hit the Temple of Enlightenment, so we have that option. Fabled Passage. It lets us hit Angel of Grace. Okay, I'm gonna risk it. Because at least Angel of Grace is not gonna get hit by Claim the Firstborn. Yeah, opponent's probably gonna keep. Okay, play Priest, okay. He could swing with Rose Strider, and I could just block with Brineborn. Opponent has another land. If he has the Mayhem Devil, that's the caveat. Would it kill for? No, that's the advantage of the Cat Oven deck. Everything is 3 mana, so yeah, we have to do the Disdainful Stroke for the Winota deck, the Gyruda deck, the Cauldron Familiar. So this is gonna get even slower. Opponent. I'm gonna play the Brazen Borrower because I know what our next card is. I know what our plan is. Let's get ourselves another island. We already have the double white at this point. Also note that we're in trouble in the sense that Angel of Grace, it protects us from damage, but does not protect us from life loss. And if we don't have to play it, I can just play Spectral Sailor, draw a card. Basically, I have to encourage our opponent to start sacking all of their stuff. Opponent plays Midnight Reaper. Okay, sure. Can't counter that. Opponent plays Witch's Oven number 2, so we are on a really short clock. Opponent plays a land. Okay, he's out of cards. That's a good news. So I guess we go for broke. We cast Angel of Grace, chump Jump one of their dudes. He might sack in response. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Well, this ability not so relevant. Thankfully, no Mayhem Devil yet, so if our opponent chooses to sack the priest, yeah, we sack Spectral Sailor. Yeah, that's our card draw. That's the sad part. But we need the clock now. Opponent gets to play something for 3 mana. Oh, passed it. Get more mana. So opponent needs an answer for Angel of Grace. Buying some time. Can't do anything about that. Our opponent gets to regain 3 life. So but we have to play the Brindborn Cutthroat as some sack fodder for. Also, our opponent not exactly gaining life. They are drawing into answers. So 6 mana. What are the odds they have a 4 mana answer? Nah, if their removal's probably Bedevil. At least Midnight Reaper is keeping our opponent's life total slightly down. He draws a ton of cards, sure. Opponent probably just, yeah, place the Cauldron Familiar back. Oh no, doesn't. Waiting for a trigger, I suppose. Mayhem Devil. Okay, so can't counter that. Priest of Forgotten Gods, okay. Giving themselves fodder. So I need to be careful how I pass because I can play the Cutthroat in response to get an activation out. I'm betting our opponent is going to use the Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I almost said forbidden. Yeah, Priest of Forgotten Gods to take out the Borrower, and then force us to sack the Angel. And if we can hold it up long enough, because let's see, this is 2 triggers. One goes here, one goes here. Sack. Our opponent can technically take it out. Cauldron Familiar, so has an extra kitty. So it's a question of what our opponent. Also kind of helps that our opponent has only down to 4 life. I just need that, and sacking stuff takes his life down. Cauldron Familiar is probably the best bet because he needs to maintain that life total up. If he sacks Midnight Reaper, it's going to be annoying because that means our opponent's going to be net positive on life again. Yeah, the Disdainful Strokes is not helping us. Opponent sacks those 2. Okay, this trigger goes in the stacks, takes out Brazen Borrower. Actually drawing okay. Ping. Come on, target us. Target us. Targeting the Angel. Okay, let that resolve one at a time. Opponent just wants to be safe, I guess. So does our opponent have enough triggers? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, our opponent has more than enough triggers. And us having to sacrifice. Yeah, so we're gonna lose the Angel of Grace. Do we have a way to deal 2 damage? Not quite. Thing is, these guys are tapped, so no point going. so opponent takes out Angel of Grace. Good news is we now have a life cushion. Just have to be careful with our timing. Yeah, so close. Our rat effect would be... Did not want to see that. Okay, so we're gonna go down to 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, we're gonna... We can buy ourselves a little life buffer, but we're gonna lose this one. At least the angels in the graveyard to save us, but also the problem is if our opponent just swings, let's see, 3, 4, 5. Okay, just 5 damage, but the sack triggers are gonna main devil number 2. Yeah, and I couldn't counter it. Could probably need another option, but then again, this is the cheapest one. Okay, so go down to 9, 8. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3. Problem is we take this damage as a block. Opponent goes Chandra. Yeah, this good thing, I guess.
I'm happy as a hellion to start some fire.
Because we're gonna take 4 damage from here anyway, and our opponent is going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just going for a 3. Take the 3 damage. So he sacks this. I go down to 1. Yeah, it's okay. So well done. That's 4 damage. So then okay. So let's. Problem is our opponent can just respond. Okay, let's force our opponent to respond now. So we only gained 5 life off this, and we're still losing quite a bit. 5, 4. Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, let's save our opponent the trouble. We have no way of hitting our opponent here. So yeah, that's the only downside of Disdainful Stroke. We still have a black-red sacrifice matchup to worry about. Oh well, so not so great, but let's keep soldiering on. And we did get 3 good wins, so I'm not too unhappy with it. Okay, if I had the sideboard there, yeah, definitely if I was playing a game with sideboard, the Essence Scatter comes in, the Disdainful Strokes come out, the Quenches come in, 1 Mystical Dispute comes out. Another Time Wipe? No. Dream Trawler might come in. Okay, is this keepable? Spectral Sailor, opt. Yeah, I'll risk it though. And it's mono red. At least we got an island, so we'll pass. So next turn, Temple of Enlightenment. At least we're holding up another Spectral Sailor. Opponent swings. Does our opponent have the shock? Nope. So yeah, let's trade this off. I think our opponent's going for light up the stage. Yep, light up. Found mana. Okay, so let's take it easy on playing creatures. Brazen Borrower is good, but yeah, it's fine. We'll keep the Brazen Borrower. So our opponent's probably gonna cast this at us, which is kind of fine at least. Can't Essence Scatter it. This is a shame. So we missed that window. Also, targeting this will really hurt us a lot, so... But our opponent should be mostly creatures at this point. I'm expecting an Annex or a Torbrand. Guess not if he's gonna swing. We'll take the hit because we might want to Brazen Borrower the thing that comes after. Opponent takes 2. Let that resolve. Do I bounce it? Just take 2 and force him to replay it again? You know what? Probably should have done it in response to... so that we... I want to see if our opponent had the second one. Now we're going to lose Spectral Sailor, which... Oh no, he's going for it again. Okay, sack. Let's get... white mana. Let's hope I don't draw into more planes. Okay, Essence Scatter's not bad, so we'll swing again. Yeah, we haven't cast Opt yet. Yeah, we made the mistake of letting this resolve. Opponent plays Runaway Steamkin. Yeah, that's counter worthy. Gonna take a big hit. Opponent plays Rimrock Knight. That's okay. So at least we know what to hold up for this. Definitely playing Opt. Yeah, we definitely want that Castle Vantress. Because at least we have a Shark to block. Take the hit. We now have Cutthroat Opt as an option also. It's gonna be very expensive though. Actually, we have Cutthroat Opt, we have Cutthroat Scatter, Brazen Borrower Opt is opponent plays Torbrand, so we play Grindborn into Essence Scatter. Still classic. I'll probably just chump block everything here because I'm... Oh, opponent doesn't. I guess it's fine by me because that lets me take the fairy.
Stand by and watch.
Bounce the Rimrock Knight because that's the...
Oh, I've done the hero.
Okay, gets us a time wipe. So I don't think we're not gonna try to protect the fairy at this point, which is kind of fine. He's basically there to soak up damage. So we can get Cutthroat to 4-3 if our opponent tries to go for Annex. Okay, that resolves. So time wipe is not gonna be so great. We do get to snipe the giant first if he decides to swing. Oh, he's gonna hold back. Absorb. Yeah, absorb's okay. And another time wipe, so we really need to hit that land.
Don't worry, I got this.
Yeah, if we had another land, our opponent goes to Ember Cleave. Opponent plays Runaway Steamkin. I'm actually gonna let that resolve. It sucks with Annex. Okay, but the fact that he's letting us take all these free turns and not swinging. There you go, there's our island. And another island.
I'll protect you.
So say I swing with this one, he... Actually, the thing I'm gonna do is, because Teferi Time Raveler has... Okay, because Teferi Time Raveler is on... Yeah, we have the play as instant, so we have that option. We can't just play encounter though, so... Okay, plays 5 mana. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So pass. You might as well swing it. It's not gonna block and oh, he's gonna go for Teferi. Okay, so stop after blockers just to be sure. Actually, I can no, not stop after damage. I need to stop after blockers. Yeah, I don't want to get careless here. Pass to damage. You know what? Let's just wipe the board now. And we bounce back. I might just bounce back the Sailor, I guess. Yeah, we bounce back Sailor because we get Great Shark into Sailor or Time Wiper into Sailor. No, I'm sorry, forgot. Nah, let's bounce back the Cutthroat. So we're gonna see if our opponent decides to reload their board after getting how many tokens? He probably expects it lights up the stage, draws into lands. Yeah, I guess he could play Grimrock Knight. Okay, now we wipe this board again. Heck, we can even do it next turn.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Okay, pass the blocks. Yeah, I want to see if he pumps. Okay, doesn't pump. You know what? I think it's because the problem is if... Well, technically, I can wait for it to go to damage because he has to pass before I do. Opponent plays Torbrand. And a Fervent Champion. So he has been holding back. One, two, three, four, five, six. Only six. Okay, 7 lands. So now we have a plan. So Cutthroat into Great Shark when it's running out of cards. It feels like a waste, but. The fact that our opponent did not commit this one, I guess it makes sense. And here comes the Voracious Shark. Still resisting the urge to sink. And in essence, okay, we got the game there. So that was a very scary game, all things considered. Actually, slightly fortunate that our opponent wasn't that fast. So we got our investment back. That's the good news. Let's see if we can go for more. And I haven't encountered a Gyruda or Winota deck yet, so still haven't been able to prove it. That said, I know if you were to ask me, my odds on that one is like 50-50. I got 1 win, 1 loss against a Winota deck, though the loss was because I should have expected it. That one's my own fault. Gyruda deck, I think I have 2 wins, 1 loss, though that 1 win was so harrowing that I don't want... Okay, so at least we got Cutthroat into Absorb, so... And this is Lurrus. If it's a sacrifice version, it's gonna be so annoying, I'll be honest. Oh, it's a cycling version. Okay, this is gonna be very interesting. Basically, our opponent is gonna play a ton of cyclers. So Granite Healer's not so bad. So our plan's to play Cutthroat end of turn. We're basically holding up the Absorb. Valiant Rescuer is gonna be a problem, though we do have the time wipe to kind of buy us some time. Yeah, I'm gonna play the Cutthroat right now and just mash because our opponent can just make a 1/1 token anytime to defend. Cycling, so yep, gets the token, gets the life. Also, I won't be able to counter this. I really needed the time wipe there, so Teferi is not a great idea. Let's pass on that. Also, if our opponent just swings with these guys, I have the option to just play Sea Dasher Octopus. Opponent plays Flourishing Fox. Because I can bounce it in response. Opponent cycles, so gets himself another token. He probably doesn't... He could cycle again, but it's a waste on the Valiant Rescuer trigger if you've seen one of my previous videos. Also, you know what? We can also just trade with the... We can also just trade with the Rescuer right now. So opponent lost 2 of their payoffs. He can just replay them with... Okay, so he's now in... It's annoying, but I have to hold up mana because if our opponent happens to decide to play Lurrus this moment, I'm gonna be facing all these guys again. Okay, so it's just Draenid Stinger. I might just let this one pass. We'll take the 6 damage, 7 damage. We're at the board. Opponent plays Lurrus, we bounce it to hand. Okay. Disdainful Stroke. Opponent's also unable... Okay, opponent replays Valiant Rescuer. That probably has a Cycler. Okay, cycles. Yeah, I actually like the idea of the cycling deck. Okay, still no white. It's about to change, I guess. Yikes. Also, Disdainful Stroke's kind of dead here unless our opponent plays none. Pay 2 life.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
This one's not so great, but at least costs him 2 mana to cast. So it will lock this down.
Let's try this.
Take ourselves an opt if we have to. And we can just counter the Valiant Rescuer if it gets to that. Okay. Problem is our opponent has a full grip and we simply don't have anything nothing threatening. No large angel, no big shark. Okay, it's sad because I think the Lurrus is even worse, but I'm gonna counter this now. He's digging. I guess that makes sense since your payoff is gone. Okay, now he has the second white for Lurrus, but that's next turn. So that gives me one draw step, 1 scry, and 1 opt. Okay, 2 opts. Mystical Dispute. Actually, I'll keep that. We're still way behind though. Our opponents don't think. Okay, so we'll take the hit. Opponent plays. It's the Lurrus, so I'm gonna opt first, see if we can dig into Spectral Sailors. Not gonna cut it. Brazen Borrower is. You know what? I'm gonna make him eat his mana. There. So that resolves. Then we bounce it with and we bounce it with Brazen Borrower, force him to spend mana to cast it again. That's literally all we have, guys. So unfortunately, yeah, Brazen Borrower is not gonna do much. I'm just going to scry 2. And we're also down to 4, so yeah, we're probably gonna lose this one. Yeah, cycling dodges most of our count. Well, yeah, we were not able to hit our opponent in time. Our opponent got first digs on us. So let's see. Cutthroat is not gonna do it. Hallowed Fountain is not gonna do it. We need to... Essentially, we need to hit another Wrath. Only going for the Granite Stinger because they're going for the Throat at this point. And we did not draw it. Nope, nowhere near. That's a good game. So actually, Lurrus is probably the one thing this deck is not exactly primed to hit, only because of our main deck disdainful strokes. Yeah, I guess sideboard quenches, all the quenches come in. Okay, so this is very aggressive. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. I'm honest, but if our opponent's aggro again, we're in. Okay, at least we got hit a Hallowed Fountain, so I'm gonna have this enter battlefield tap. This could be Winota, so we are in real trouble. We don't have a single counter spell. I need to start digging for it. It also depends on the build. Like, let's say it's because there are many ways the Winota deck can get non-humans. Raise the Alarm. That's a very cheap one. Chandra, very consistent, even if it's 1 mana more. Also very annoying. Could this be... okay, opponent's holding back, so some good news for us, I guess. This could also be Yadaro cycling. Okay, Marauding Rap. That's new. Okay, drew another Hallowed Fountain. I guess I'll take the 2 damage here. So I'll pass the turn, knowing I can Cutthroat and opt or Sailor if I need to block the Raptor. It's Marauding Raptor, not Menacing Raptor, so no menace. Our opponent could cast Winota on the cheap though, so far that's not the case, so we lucked out there. Our opponent could have removal of some sort, so we might end up sacrificing 2 Cutthroats just to block this Raptor. Pass 2 blockers. Light of Hope with a +1/+1 creature. That's fine because I also get to put a +1/+1. Plains is... I guess Plains is kind of okay. But we still need to hit an actual count. So, good news. If our opponent is playing Winota, has to cast it the hard way now. And we lucked out into an Essence Scatter. So, let's not get careless. I will just play Spectral Sailor end of turn. I could have played Teferi, but... Teferi is much better as a way to eat up time. And let's verify. Blue, yep. This is definitely a Winota style deck, or it could be just Fire Prophecy. Yeah, sure. Opponent is starting. Yeah, Fire Prophecy because our opponent needs to dig for the combo. I'm gonna verify, did I put anything in... Nope, I didn't really put anything in the bottom, so... Let's get ourselves an island. And let's see what our opponent plans to do as counter. I would really like to just draw a card, that would be so much better. But if our opponent has to play a burn spell on this, it's fine too. Fire Artisan, yeah, I'm not... Oh, nope, not countering that. Interesting enough, I can just play Great Shark. Okay, that's a Clarion he's not casting. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the Great Shark now, snipe the Chandra. So we take 5 damage.
Guess you don't need
It's
me
a
anymore.
small price to pay. I don't think our opponent's ever gonna Capridor. Oh, it's that kind of combo deck. Okay, let's opt first. Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, sure, because our opponent already demonstrated that. Opponent could have a Lava Coil, so that would be annoying. Nope. And drew ourselves a Cast Enchantress. This is cutting it really close. Yeah, actually, if our opponent's playing, each creature deals damage. Okay. So the base. Disdainful Stroke. And yeah, okay, we got Brazen Borrower and a Time Wipe if we have to. So this is only opponent control, so we cannot save the Great Shark. Opponent probably gonna just replay that again if he has it, so that would be kind of fine because I can just play Brazen Borrower end of for Force's Invention. Deals twice damage. Sure. Tapland. Let's of course draw a card. And we're gonna play Brazen Borrower to kind of seal the deal. Let's hope our opponent is not carrying up. Well, it's down to 2 cards. Yeah, and we're kind of slowing down here. So yeah, but we're so close already. Well, I'm so close to losing, or I'm so close to. Okay, we got that one through, and our opponent concedes there. Woo! That was great. So yeah, this flavor doing quite well though. Yeah, based on what our opponent's playing, it's a very weird deck, if I can say so. Actually, it looks like it's just it's like a Marauder Raptor combo with that Chimera. That seems to be the flavor of the deck. So we've already made a profit of 100 gold, so I'll take that. And once again, well, we do have an Essence Scatter, and we're just 1 mana away from a Teferi, so I don't like this. I'm gonna keep this, but I don't like this. I'm probably gonna lose. Yes, and our opponent plays Healer's Hawk. We won't be able to... I think we're in trouble, guys. Well, nice of our opponents to take some damage and not play on Johnny's Pride Mate. Loyal Pegasus. Oh, because this is White Blue Flyers. So, how fast can I hit a Time Wipe? I don't think we're gonna hit fast enough. Rally of Wings is just +2 to everything. So I'm just gonna stall our opponent out of it. Yeah, to try to take a little time, take a little damage. If our opponent's playing Sephara, okay, Skycat Sovereign. Okay, we hit our 3rd mana. So, yeah, we're gonna buy even more time by playing Teferi, crossing the Skycat.
Thank me later. That's more like it.
Okay, not a land, but it digs us a little closer. Also note that we cannot just cast... The opponent's now starting to draw cards. Skycat... So it's the one that gets buffed, so... Not too bad. I won't commit...
Only time.
I'm not gonna commit the Fairy to this one. We could commit Spectral. I don't like this. Okay, no, I take it back. I like it. So I can just play Spectral Sailor just to chump block the Loyal Pegasus. Or if our opponent goes for the Skycat, I just counter it. Or not. Because our opponent still has a relatively full grip. He's been hovering over 2 lands. Does he have Rally? I have no counter. Nope. Skip no Rally of Wings. Let's place the Skycat. So knock on wood. Nope. Nope. Let's do it again.
I know my responsibility.
And the nice thing is I can actually counter with Mystical. Oh, perfect. Thank goodness. Into a Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, sure. And the other one can hit me. That's... Oh, it's going for... Oh! Yeah, that's what you do. That's what happens when you show a Spectral Sailor. And Mystical Dispute. Actually, I shouldn't have bothered. And here's the battlefield tap. I'm actually gonna milk... I'm gonna try to milk this a bit. Because I can play... I can play Brazen Borrower. Okay, opponent finally finds their... Empyrean Eagle. No, that's too much damage. So take the 9. End of turn, Brazen Borrower. Then buy it back. So let's wait for our opponent to... So let's convince our opponent to... opponent finally hitting lands, so yeah, it's literally waiting for that. Okay, 2-2. Okay, so I actually have options here. I can bounce this before combat, so yeah, we'll pass. Just have to remember that our life total is not so high. Do I... Yeah. Because he can hit me for 3 at least. Bounce back so I don't take too much damage. I might let the Brazen Borrower do this time. block the Pegasus. Let's see if I'm hoping our opponent plays more creatures. Okay, sorry. Another creature? Yes! But our opponent still has a relatively full grip. Hanged Executioner. Pegasus. Okay. Exile target creature. Yeah, we could still lose this one. Yeah, I feel like I might have pulled that trigger way too early. Now our opponent can kind of. I'm hoping our opponent responds too early. So okay, no, he's gonna exile me. Okay, so at least that gets rid of that. But now I have to deal with this damage up in the sky. And another Healer's Hawk. Essence Scatter came a bit too late, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, mutate. Over. Opponent could chump block, but he knows he's very close. So I need to. Okay, Spectral Sailor will buy me time. Really depends what this last card is. I'm gonna draw a card. Yes, another set 6. So that buys us a little more time. Into a Brazen Borrower. Wait, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Oh! Okay. And actually we draw it. Nice timing. Let's see, does our opponent go and see play Staggering Insight? I wanted to bounce a token, but that's how it is. Yeah, I'm gonna pass, take the damage. Because I need to put our opponent onto a clock right now. And the Great Shark is at it again. Ooh, got an Absorb and we got blockers. That was so close. Actually, I have to be very thankful our opponent got stalled on mana for quite a while. We would never have been able to catch up if our opponent started. Oh, yeah, if he started double fisting all these creatures. Let's Essence Scatter first. And our octopus gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, that's a very close game. Yeah, it could have gone a little bit either way. Yeah, so that's judicious use of Teferi, judicious use of. Yeah, it turns out having the 2 time wipes what's the correct call. So now we're definitely in our last game. It's win or lose time now. Okay, let's see. Still have not encountered a Gyruda deck. I guess that's because everyone's in ranked. Still have not encountered. Yeah, that's not a Winota deck, but it was scary for a while. Then watch me run into a Gyruda deck and I keep the worst hand. And I'm forced to mulligan to keep the worst hand possible. Okay, so no indication. So I guess everyone's still playing quite normal. And Disdainful Stroke, Essence Scatter, need to draw 1 mana for Absorb. We will counter something. Wait, did our opponent go? Yeah, hopefully we go first. Yeah, probably another thing the deck needs is more duels, because the turn 1's not that hitting a Spectral Sailor turn 1 is not the it's not the most important thing in the world. Hitting the op is important if you were forced to mulligan once or twice. Okay. If I see a Birth of Meletis, we're in real trouble. This was the wrong keep. Come on, 1 land. Oh, okay, not great. So we have to get Tutor for blues. So that means the time wipe might take a while. Thankfully, our opponent's also taking a while too. This might take a while, guys. I think we're in the control mirror. Okay, then there's we got an end of turn Brineborn Cutthroat. It's a shame we're technically 1 land behind anyway. If our curious what our opponents. Okay, this is Planeswalkers. Fires of Invention. That's an auto Disdainful Stroke. Now, yeah, if it's Planeswalkers, I'm forced to play the Absorb. Yeah, I gain 2 life. I gain 3. And I guess we're not. I guess the Essence Scatter was the. Well, it's a bit of a hedge between one of 2. Opponent taking damage. More Planeswalkers? Ooh, opponent pre-tapping mana. Five. Kenrith. Ooh, he held up the red mana for just to get the trample and haste. So we're still not guaranteed to win. Like, well, we do have a counter for Deafening Clarion. Hoping our opponent plays an expensive Planeswalker so I can Brineborn into Disdainful Stroke. Nice thing is we took out our opponent's Fires of Invention. Opponent plays Deafening Clarion, so we're forced to absorb that. Opponent could play Teferi, so that's probably the worst thing that we can have happen. Thankfully, he did not. Interesting thing now is that because our Brineborn's 4/3, if our opponent does the Deafening Clarion again, I can play Angel of Grace. It'll save it. Opponent goes Sarkhan again. So Brineborn Cutthroat into Disdainful Stroke. And our opponent concedes because we've been countering everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a way to beat some decks. You just have to be willing to live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. Deck list down at the description. And yeah, if you guys are willing to try this out for traditional, please let me know what you would do for the sideboard. As I said, sideboard is so untested, so I really could use some ideas. And hey, we doubled our investment. Good job, us. Anyway, and 20 gems. It's another copy of Uro. Actually, it's probably my second copy. And anyway, that's it. So next time, probably a brawl video. But until then, take care, stay safe. God bless. Have a great day, everyone.